Hi, my name is Rachel, and I'm a student at the University of Maryland, here with Maryland Family Literacy Program. Today, we're going to be doing a video that's a little different. This will be aimed at parents and guardians. Our main goal for today is to discuss 5 tips that will help engage students when reading a book and check for understanding. Our first tip is prediction making. One way to check for understanding is to ask your child to make predictions. Ask your child to guess what will happen next based on the information already given in the story. This not only checks for understanding of the events that have already occurred, but also helps develop critical thinking and analysis skills. For example, you can ask your child something like this. The boy in the story broke his mother's plate because he wasn't being careful. How do you think the mom is going to react? Our second tip is asking opinion questions. An opinion question is designed to not only have the child think about what they have read, but also understand the motives of the characters within the story. By asking opinion questions, the child will have to understand the story and decide whether they support the character's actions. For example, you could ask your child, do you think it was right for Robin Hood to steal from the rich to give to the poor? Our third tip is creating a mind map. A mind map is used to connect different main ideas to supporting details in the story. A mind map is typically drawn as a web, with the main idea in the center and supporting ideas branching out from it. Ask your child to explain how these details are related to the main idea. You can either identify the supporting details from the text, or use questions that allow your child to draw the conclusions on their own. These questions are such as who, what, when, where, and why. For example, ask who is the main character, what are they doing, and where is the story taking place? Our fourth tip is helping your child make connections. Relating what your child is reading to something in their own life or the real world helps them think critically about what they're reading. You can do this by first making your own connection. For example, you can say a certain character in the book reminds you of your father because they both like to play sports. Then ask your child if they can make any connections to real life. Some questions you can ask are, how do these characters remind you of anyone in your life? And have you ever felt the same way as the character? Our last tip is to ask your child if what they're reading makes sense. Asking your child if a section of the story makes sense is a great way to make sure they're on track in understanding the story. When reading a passage, stop and take a moment to ask them, does this make sense? And let them explain to you what just happened. You can also ask them if they understand the plot. For example, ask them, do you understand why the boy was sad when he lost his ball? Today, we covered 5 tips that will help keep your child engaged in their reading, and also help check for understanding. We hope you try these at home. See you in the next video.